everybody. Welcome to a Facebook Live with Jeannie. I am Jeannie Nielsen, the Card Lady, and I'm very excited to see you today. Today, my chosen subject is called Thoughtful Expressions. Now, the Thoughtful Expressions stamp set we know is staying, but we do also know that the Thoughtful Expressions dies are going, which makes me so very, very sad. I was looking on the inventory list and it says that they're already not available, but it also says that they're going to be available on April 30th. So that means you have about 2 days to order them before the new catalog starts. I'm hoping they're going to have a change of mind and they're going to say, oh, just kidding. We love the Thoughtful Expressions dies too, and we're going to keep them. We'll see. Obviously, if they were, it would be an online exclusive option. But anyway, we'll see. We are going to see. So anyway, I am going to do a little technique today mixed in with these 3 cards. Now these 3 cards are all a tiny bit different, and what I chose to use was the Thoughtful Expressions stamp set. When I flip down, you'll see it a little bit better. The light is catching it probably, but it has some really great sentiments. Where in the world would I be without you? Enjoy your day. You're in my thoughts today. And sometimes there are no words. And isn't that appropriate sometimes for a sympathy card or just somebody going through a hard time, right? So I'm going to flip down and we're going to do these cards and we're going to have a great time. I'm so glad you joined me. Make sure you like my video, share it, whatever. Okay, here we go. I'm going to flip up to flip down, put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing, and we will see you shortly. Okay. So up we go, and there we go. Okay, here I am on my beautiful glass mat. Some of you were able to get that during celebration if you signed up as a new demonstrator, or if you were a demonstrator beforehand, you were able to pre-order. Supposedly it's going to be available later. I haven't heard anything more, but let me tell you a little bit about the stamp set. Beautiful, beautiful stamp set. I know I have a team member that used this stamp set and did a wonderful watercolor job with the watercolor pencils. Now, I am not a watercolor girl. I love my blends, and I am going to color a little bit with blends, but I'm also going to show you that you really don't need to have blends or that skill to color this. These are the dies that we were talking about. I just figured out why I couldn't get them to fit. Okay, so here's the dies. Beautiful dies. There we go. So we've got 4 label dies. These are rectangular labels and they work so well. We used to have a punch like this, but I love the stitched edging on this one. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these round sort of shapes dies, also with the stitched edging. So I've used 3 of these dies, and actually a few more to cut out the images for my cards. So let me show you the 3 cards, and then I'm going to explain the stack and shuffle to you. So this is my first card. Isn't that beautiful? I used the Nature Sweetness stamp set paper, specialty paper. And if you haven't noticed it, it's beautiful. It's got the gold trim and everything. It's carrying over to next year's catalog. So if you haven't gotten it yet, you still have a chance. So I did 3 cards, which are all going to look somewhat similar. That's card number 2. Maybe I have to go higher so you can see more. There we go. Hopefully that works. And then this is card number 3, but I chose to make my card number 3 like this. And this one right here is a sympathy card. Or I chose it to be a sympathy card. So let me show you how we made these cards. They're all really easy. Nothing to it. I've got everything I think in here, hopefully. I really, really, really tried to be ahead of things with this today. I could be wrong, but... Okay, so first I chose 3 designs. We have all 3 of these designs. And I kind of had put this one in the middle, but... I guess it doesn't even matter. So how did I do it? I guess I did do it like this. We've got 3 designs right there. And I have here, this is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. I have here a ruler and a pencil. I've got a big bin of supplies next to me. Everything's in one bin. We're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. The long side is 5 inches. And the reason I chose that was, if you look at this, I see pretty much 5 separate sections. So this looks like 1, 2, or at least I chose it, and there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. There's 1, there's 3, and there's 1. Does that make any sense? So what I chose to do was make the markings on here in 5 separate increments. And what I'm going to do, and it's really, really easy, I'm going to measure up from the top. Actually, I'm going to measure down, I should say. I'm going to make a little tick mark there. And then on this side, I'm also going to measure up 1 inch. Now on the other side, I'm going to do this. I am going to measure down 2 inches right there and 3 inches. So I've got 2 inches here, 2 inches there, 1 inch there. But on this side, I have 1 inch, 1 inch, and 3 inches. Does that make any sense, hopefully? The next step is really relatively easy. What I'm going to do is hopefully be able to see my little tick marks. And I can see them on this side. On this side, it's not so easy, but I kind of see them. One is there. There's one over there. So what I'm going to do first is put my paper, and I have all 3 sheets together. Because it's designer paper, you can cut them all at the same time. I have my, how am I going to do this? Let's see. There is my top tick mark on the right side, and here is my tick mark on the left side. I am going to be super, super careful that all of my paper is lined up, that it's not going to slide. And what I want to do is put each of those tick marks on each side in the groove, and I'm going to cut. And I'm going to trust that I made this decision right. You know what? Yes, I did. Okay. Boom. Done. So now we have this side yet. So this side, this piece, stack of 3, I'm going to put aside for a second. And now we're going to do this side. And what I'm going to do is put the tick mark on the left side there, and the tick mark, and I've got to see that again because it's really kind of hard. I guess I didn't do, it's on the gold foil, so it's really kind of hard to see it. Let me just make sure I'm seeing it in the right spot. I'm going to put that tick mark right there. Okay. Ta-da. My metal bowl is agreeing with me. So the tick mark's there, the tick mark is here, and this is going to be our second cut. Our second and only cuts. Everything else I've done ahead of time. So let me show you this all lined up. I hope I'm not talking Greek to you. It makes sense to me, and it made sense until I started trying to show. But so here we have this, and then this one is going to go at the bottom, and then we have our little 3 here. So what we're going to do next is take this stack, and we are going to put the top one to the bottom. There we go. And we have this stack, and we're going to take the top 2 and put them to the bottom. And there we go. I had to figure this out ahead of time, obviously, because I wanted it to work just like it worked before. So anyway, now I'm going to remove this. I'm going to go like this. Oh, where did that other one go? Okay. I'm going to show you all laid out, and hopefully this makes sense. So this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And we have 3 different patterns that are cut evenly. All 3 are cut evenly. Does this make any sense? Can you see them? I think you can. Hopefully there's not too bad of a glare, because this is beautiful gold foil design. So it's really, really pretty. So next, what I'm going to do is attach these to my mats. And I had better do that right off the bat, and then I'll do the rest of the card with you. Because if I don't, then I'm going to end up losing pieces. So let's start with the white and gold one. And what I chose, and I didn't stamp the inside yet, but what I wanted to do was maybe use this as a wedding card for my spouse. I'm thinking actually more an anniversary card or a Valentine's Day card or something special, you know, where I could give this to my husband. That's what I had in mind, but you could do it for anybody. I chose, because of the gold, and I wanted to keep it gold, and it reminded me of an anniversary card. So that's where I was going with this. So let me attach those pieces, and I have a mat here, which is pecan pie. Now, I had to measure this and figure this out, how to put this on so that it was even. And what I came up with is that my mat needs to be 3 7/8 in width, but the length is 5 1/4 inches. So this, remember, I had 3 3/4 inches by 5. Normally, I would put it on 4 by 5 1/4 inches, but because I need the space up and down, it added a little bit more width, but not, or a little bit more length, but not the width. So let me show you what I did. And hopefully I have my glue in here because I don't have my glue on my desk. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'll move this out of the way so you can see it for a second. I'm going to attach this right here to my paper. So what I decided, so that I was going to have it totally even, was I'm going to attach it even on 3 sides, top, left, and right, just like that. And because I have the glue, I can slide it around until I get it in the perfect spot. I'm not going to do the middle piece yet. I want to do the bottom piece first, because then I know my middle piece is going to be evenly spaced from the other 2 pieces. I don't care how much it's spaced as long as it's even, but I'm going to do it even from the bottom, left, and right for this. So this is the back of the paper, by the way. It has like the vanilla. It's a very masculine sort of paper, or it's a very decorative and fancy sort of paper. So you can choose it to be whatever you want. I could have done the pecan pie and white, but I'm not a big fan of this image. It didn't really work for me to make that on this card, even though, who knows. So now what I'm going to do is add my glue right here, and I'm going to put this perfectly spaced right there. So I'm going to manipulate it so that it's evenly spaced, and ta-da, there's my first layer. But we can easily do the next layer too. So the next layer is right here, and I chose wild wheat. Now, wild wheat is not my favorite color until I put it with gold, and then I decide it looks almost gold. I don't know if you agree with me, but it's more like a bronzy gold or an antique gold, but it looks gold. So what I'm going to do is the same thing for this one. I'm going to attach my top piece. I really like this grid pattern. And like I said, I didn't like the back, so I had a feeling I would be using this grid pattern anyway. This is the bottom piece, and I'm going to attach that at the bottom. Just like that. Bottom, left, and right, totally even. Top, left, and right, totally even. And then we're going to just slide. I'm going to run out of time if I don't get this. It's not quite even. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, and then our third piece is going to go right in the middle of them. And whether it has a lot of room or not doesn't especially matter as long as it's even, I have found. So that's number 2. Beautiful. And number 3 is the one that I chose for my sympathy card, and I decided to put it on Bubble Bath. Now, you could put it on Bubble Bath, or you could even put it on the Pretty in Pink that's coming out, but I chose Bubble Bath. And then I was saying, well, you know, then it's got to go on something. I was going to put it on something dark, but I love the Bubble Bath and how bright and cheery it is. So even if it's a sympathy card, my whole point is to cheer them up, not make them sad. So I'm going to put this piece at the top on my bubble bath. That is not at all where I want it. Okay, we're going to have to go with that. There we go. And then we've got our bottom piece. So thank you for joining me. Make sure you tell me where you're joining me from. I know I have listeners in North Carolina and Connecticut. Rose hopefully is watching. She is visiting my upline, Maryland, but she's from California. So I have widespread reach, right? I like to think that. I like sharing this stuff with you guys. Makes stamping worthwhile if I can share it with somebody, right? Especially because I'm not all that good necessarily at getting my cards sent out. Okay, you can't, maybe I should have moved this piece down a little bit more and then there would have been more space. But anyway, and then what I'm going to do with this card eventually is decide if I want it this way or this way. And I think I chose this way, and I'm going to stamp my label horizontal. So, okay, let's put these pieces out of the way, and you can see how beautiful they are. And that didn't take me long at all. So you could do this with any designer paper. Choose a coordinating, 3 coordinating. You don't want them to be too different. Have some kind of theme in mind, I would say. Either all, let's just say all gingham, or all black and white, or all pastel, or all flowers, or something. Have some kind of theme in mind when you're cutting them. And cut them 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and then your mat will be 3 7/8 by 5 1/4 inches. Okay, now to get to the next part. The first one I did was this one. And because it was all gold, I decided that I was going to emboss. And I have to tell you, even my embossing, I don't know if it's old embossing powder, but even that looks like the wild wheat and kind of an antique gold, I have to say. So I just remembered. Okay, I'm going to swipe across. I want to do one thing. Nope. Guess not. Hopefully nobody calls me in the middle or I'm going to lose you. Just tune back on and I'll pick up where I left off, because all of a sudden I'm noticing that I have texts that are coming through and I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Never a good thing. Okay, so I have all my labels cut. We're going to just get to the point, right to the point here. And the rest is not going to take me long at all, because I've done a lot of my pre-stamping, etc. ahead. So I've already done my flower, and I even colored it in by accident. I have already done my embossing, but I'm going to show you how the embossing works because I'm going to do it on the label. I've already stamped my hummingbird, and the reason I did that was because I don't want to be cutting it out on film or taking the time to do that. So let me just get to what I was going to do. So the first thing I'm going to use for embossing, either you're going to use one of the classic inks with the foam because it stays wet a while longer, and then I would do clear embossing powder maybe. Or what I'm going to use is Versamark. And let me put these other labels out of the way because I don't need them yet. This, of course, is at one of our round labels, and I want to say it's the 3rd smallest or the 4th largest, however you want to look at that. And I chose the one, Where in the World Would I Be Without You? Now, this could even be somebody that's helped you out, and maybe I wouldn't do it in gold for them necessarily, but you could, whatever you want to do. So I have my stamps already laid out, and I don't put my labels on because I've destroyed one of my stamps with the cling labels. So I just put it on my block, knowing that I am going to trust my block. And you hear me say that all the time, and now I have my team members saying that, so that's kind of funny. I'm going to do that here, and right in the middle, I'm going to stamp. This is the Versamark. And the only thing I remembered that I did not do was use my embossing buddy for that. So hopefully I'm not going to pick up too much excess. Okay, so now I have all of my embossing powders in different containers, and I've labeled the lids so that I know which one is which. And then way back when there was a frozen yogurt place, and I got these spoons, and I unfortunately only have 3 left, I think. But I'm going to use them. You know what? I have my tweezers here. Let me use my tweezers. This is the tweezers from the stamp set. not the stamp set, the embossing edition set. And I definitely should have used my embossing buddy because there is a lot of excess powder and I'm just kind of trying to remove it. I actually, hang on a second, I'm going to show you something. One of my customers gave me this and you're going to love this. Hang on. This is from a makeup store, and I'm sure she probably got the tip from somebody else. But anyway, these are, I think, to put on like eyelashes, fake eyelashes or something. And they have such a fine point. Let me see if I can get one out. You can see that there. This is the fine point. So what I'm going to do is try to remove some of this excess so that it doesn't ruin what I just, oh, this is not going to work. Well, let me try one more time and see if I can do it without, oh yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, this is not going to be my best embossing work. Sorry about that, peeps. I keep pulling it off of there, and then I take part of the D out. Okay, we're going to not worry about it. I did a good job with this one because I used my embossing buddy. Or, you know what I could do? Although the stitching isn't going to be as great, this is what we're going to do. We are going to turn it over and start over one more time really quickly, but use the embossing buddy just so that I can get rid of some of the excess, at least around there. Okay, one more time. That's your tip for today. If you're going to emboss, please use your embossing buddy. There we go. And now just so you know, the stitching isn't as pretty, but I used the other side. You're not going to use the same side because it's still going to find where that Versamark ink was before. So you have to totally switch sides. And that I can see is already much better and going to be much cleaner when I emboss. So I have to tell you the next thing. I don't have my Stampin' Up! Heat gun. It's in with my stuff for retreat. So I'm going to use my non-Stampin' Up! But faster heat gun. So I'm not promoting another heat gun. It's just that I don't have the other one available, just so you know. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just heat this up real quick. And I love doing this embossing. I'm going to go down low so you can see it. You can see what I'm doing because it's so fun to emboss. And this is where the magic is. And where would you be with me? Of course, everything is magic because I'm a magic genie. Here we go. What I'm doing is just heating it up. I don't want to stay too much in one spot, but I don't want to be, I have people that when they emboss, they kind of are looking away. You have to watch it. Watch for the magic to happen. You can see that the dark is going away, and I already got it here. There we go. I can see that it's all shiny or shiny-ish, and this is what that looks like right there. Okay, let's go up higher again. Hopefully you can still see. And what I'm going to do is just attach this directly onto here. I decided that I was going to not pop that up because I'm popping up the flowers next to it. So I'm just going to put that right here to the right, left. And then I have my flowers, which I've already embossed. I could color them in if I wanted to, but I kind of like the monochromatic theme here. I am going to get some dimensionals though and pop it up. So let me just do that here. You'll have to tell me which one you like. When you're watching the replay, please make sure to tell me which card you like, not the third card, because I can't necessarily remember what was my third card. And then I have to go back and rewatch it. But there we go. You know what? that should have gone down a little bit further. That's not quite right. And the nice thing about dimensionals is if you're careful, you can pick it up and you can move it without any problem at all. So I'm going to go like that. You know what? I'm going to go like that. That's what we're going to do. We're going to switch the direction just like that. I really like that. I'm going to put this on my thick white cardstock, just like this. My thick white is right here. This one I did 4 1/4 by 11 inches. This one I'm going to do, this is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Either way is whatever. Oh my. Okay, don't pay any attention. I'm not going to put it on there. I actually I have cards in there. These are 5 1/4 by 10 inches, which means it's going to be exactly the right size. I'm not going to put it on here right now. Maybe I'll grab my silicone mat and I'll glue it later. But if I was going to, I put it on here, it won't stick to anything. So I'm going to put it on the right size card base when I finish. Boy, this is going well. Okay, that's okay. We're doing fine. Okay, so I would put it on a thick white base, just like I did here. Like I said, this one is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. You can also do 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 inches and just score it at 4 1/4. So whatever you choose. But that's card number 1. Card number 2, I did a little bit of fancy coloring with the hummingbird. So I have my hummingbird already stamped, and what I need to do is just stamp my sentiment. So I am going to put away my Versamark. I don't need that anymore. And I am going to stamp You're in My Thoughts Today, and this is with Memento. And the reason I chose the Memento was because I'm already stamping my hummingbird in Memento, and I've stamped my flowers in Memento. So Memento will work. I did also re-ink this, so this is probably going to be very messy. There is a right and a wrong side for your labels when you die cut. You can see the stitching a little better on one side versus another. But if you make a mistake on one side, a better thing to do is, rather than using the mistake side, is to use the other side, even if the stitching isn't as nice. Okay, so this is another one where I'm going to glue it straight down. Oh my. I've got Memento because I re-inked on my thing. So I will make sure that my tail covers up that part. For anybody that thinks that stampers that are online are perfect, I'm here to prove you're wrong. Nobody's perfect. Okay, there we go. So there's my nice ink smudge. But what I'm going to do is take my tail of my hummingbird and cover that up. Okay, so I chose two blends. I chose Lost Lagoon and Wild Wheat. So this is the light Wild Wheat and it is the dark Lost Lagoon. And what I'm going to do is color my hummingbird. If anybody wants to argue with me and tell me that that's not what a hummingbird looks like, well, I'm going to tell you, in my stamp room, my hummingbird can be whatever I want it to be, and it can be colored however I want it to be. I tried to do it true to form. I went online and I tried to do the colors, and the way this hummingbird is set up, I did a really lousy job, and I decided that done was better than not done. So that's why my guy is just 2 different colors. So he's Lost Lagoon and Wild Wheat. And what I'm going to do is just, this one isn't stamped as well. I re-inked my Versamark on my Memento after I stamped this guy. I'm just going to go like that. I'm just going to concentrate on the feathers, on, you know, the rounded feathers that I can see. And that's where I'm going to do most of my Lost Lagoon. That's not to say that I'm not going to get some Wild Wheat in here. So hang on a second. Doesn't take that long. So you can color your guy. If you want a bright pink and yellow hummingbird, there's nobody that should be saying to you that that's not what hummingbirds look like. That's my point. You can have your hummingbird look any way you want. Okay, I'm going to just take the Wild Wheat, just do it on the belly, just like that. And this is going to bring in I'm just kind of bringing that color a little bit into the Lost Lagoon just to kind of blend it a little bit. So there's a little bit of green there too. Okay, this is where I'm going to pop him up. And then because I know where my guy has to land because of the ink smudge, I'm going to put my flower under the hummingbird's nose instead of putting the hummingbird over the flower, if that makes any sense at all. Taking off my backings, and we are just going to put this cute little guy right over here, just like that. Who sees an ink smudge? Isn't that cool? So I know that my flower is going to have to go kind of right there, sort of. It's going to be however that lands. That wasn't, I guess I should have put him up a little bit higher, but I should have smudged a little bit higher is what I should have done, and then I'd be all set. But that's not how it works, is it? So there we go. We'll just put our flower just like that. And then what I'm going to do is attach this to my Lost Lagoon base. So remember, this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to attach it to my Lost Lagoon just like that. And you've got a beautiful Thinking of You card ready to go. And these cards are not taking me that long, mostly because they're already designed. I don't know about you, but sometimes I have days where I design cards and they come together just like that. And the fact that I came up with 3 cards in a morning was pretty good. I even had a little nap this afternoon, which is unusual for me. So it should have a white base inside, and I'll get to that later. And I can put anything I want inside, either stamped or handwritten. I'm probably still up too high. So let me go down again, just like that. And we're going to get to our third card, which is really super simple, super, super simple. My third card, what I did was I just lost my card. That's what I did. This is my third card. And sorry, I keep getting texts across there, so I can't see if anybody is paying attention or not. But anyway, what I'm going to do here is just stamp my sentiment real quick without getting too much ink on me. And my sentiment says, sometimes there are no words. I'm going to look at this and make sure I'm stamping the right direction. And I'm just going to stamp it off to the side just like that. Sometimes there are no words. Isn't that a beautiful font? That is just so, so pretty. And then I chose this one. It looks like a just a sheath of wildflowers or something, you know, just a tall upright flower, whatever it wanted to be. Just like that. And I wasn't standing up over it, which is why it did not stamp straight, but it's okay, because why does it have to be perfect? I'm going to take my bubble bath blend, and I'm just going to color in my flowers, just like that. These could also be white, but I wanted to add a little bit of color. And because I was doing the soft color with the bubble bath, I decided to do the soft color with my marker, soft seafoam to be exact. It has the little, you know what, I'll color them in. I don't know if those are leaves or not, but we're going to color them in anyway. So there it is, and because I did the soft seafoam on there, I chose the soft seafoam base. I decided to make this horizontal. Now, I was thinking about this. This looks like a sympathy card to me. Would I want to have a sympathy card with ribbon? I'm not sure that I would. It just somehow seems frivolous. And when we're talking about thoughts, I just want to go basic and just let somebody know that I'm there for them. I'm going to just put this actually in the center, but I am going to pop it up. So it probably needs something. If it didn't say sometimes there are no words and sound like a sympathy card, I would probably have ribbon next to it. I don't know. Maybe I could have put, you know what I could do? Okay, hold that thought. I have an idea of what I could do. Now this is going to be hard to do with my dimensionals already on there because a lot of times I might like to use washi tape, but I've got my twine here, and maybe I'll just do some twine underneath it. We'll just a little bit, and nothing fancy, nothing exact, just kind of there just to, well, it's a nice thought, but because I've got my dimensionals on here already, it's just making a mess. But I'm just kind of twirling the twine and not doing much of anything with it, but just kind of putting it there just to have something, a little bit of something. So let's put that there. Let's put another dimensional right there to kind of keep that one in place. And then I don't have my... It's nothing fancy. It's just a little bit of something, just like that. And I kind of like that, you know? I kind of like that. And I'm going to put it, because it's landscape, I'm going to put it on my 5.5 by 8.5 piece of soft sea foam that I've scored at 4 1/4. And in a perfect world, glue would come out right now. So because I don't have, I think I have a 10, I keep a little straight pin here, just in case this happens to me. And all I have to do is insert the straight pin into my glue. And voila, I should have glue now because I know I have plenty of glue. There we go. Okay. So glad that this Facebook Live went so well. Originally, I told you I wasn't even going to be here today because I thought today I was working. It was a nice surprise to figure out that this is not the Monday I'm working, but next week is. I see a little tick mark on there that I'm going to erase. If you can see those marks, just get rid of them. Just like that. But anyway, there's our third card. Isn't that beautiful? So I think I like it with this. I would have liked it if it had laid a little bit better, but that's not the way things work. We've got this one, and this is our third card. So I totally hope you enjoyed watching my Facebook Live. Okay, I'm going to switch and say, hi, Stephanie, and hi to whoever else is joining me. I'm going to answer all of your comments. I love reading the comments and seeing what you have to say. Tell me which one is your favorite. Tell me what you think of this method. It's really, really easy. Stack and shuffle. And you could do a cut any way you want. I just chose to make it an even cut. So 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I measured down 2 inches, measured up 2 inches, and on the other side measured down 1 inch and up 1 inch. So I hope you enjoyed today's edition of Stamping with Jeannie. I will see you in a couple of weeks because I am now definitely working the next 2 Mondays. If I am going to see some of you at my retreat on April 13th, I'm getting very excited. We still have a couple more days before it closes, but I ordered the paper today because I found out that the paper was on low inventory. And would that be a problem if we didn't have paper to go with our stamping? It would be a big problem. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I will see you very, very soon. Love you guys. Bye.